So, to review a little bit of Matthew 24, just to reiterate, three questions are asked by the disciples as they leave the temple area, and just marveling at the beauty of the temple. And Jesus says, one day not one stone will be left upon another. About 35, 40 years later, in 70 AD, Rome destroys the temple and fulfills that prophecy. The other two questions they ask is, when will the sign of your coming be? And when is the end of the age? In the end of verse 3. Today we pick it up in verses 36 through the end of the chapter, which I'll read. And we'll see that he's really focusing now on what we would call a rapture of the church and other events. So let's hear what God says. Beginning with verse 36, concerning the day and hour no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. For as were in the days of Noah, so will the coming of the Son of Man be. For as it is in those days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and given in marriage, until the day when Noah entered the ark. And they were unaware until the flood came and swept them all away. So will be the coming of the Son of Man. Then two men will be in the field, one will be taken and one left. Two women will be grinding at the mill, one will be taken, one will be left. Therefore stay awake, for you do not know when the day your Lord is coming. But know this, that if the master of the house had known in what part of the night the thief was coming, he would have stayed awake and would not allow his house to be broken into. Therefore you must also be ready for the Son of Man. He is coming at a time or hour you do not expect. Who then is faithful and wise servant, whom his master has set over his household to give them their food at the proper time? Blessed is the servant whom his master will find so doing when he comes. Truly I say to you, he will set him over all his possessions. But if a wicked servant says to himself, my master is delayed, and begins to beat his fellow servants and eats and drinks with drunkards, the master of that servant will come on a day when he does not expect him, in an hour he does not know, and will cut him in pieces and put him in with the hypocrites, in that place where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. The word of the Lord. So ends chapter 24. Now, in relation to the two questions, the sign of your coming and the end of the age, this is a little different because they may be thinking in their question about the sign of his coming being a coming to perhaps rule on earth and stay on earth, and the end of the age, which of course the end of time, and then you'd have final judgment and so on. He doesn't address the end of the age in this section. He really is talking more about either potentially some kind of a coming where some people are taken and some are left, and also his second coming to reign. But it seems more like a kind of a rapture event here. But notice the setting. You know, the time's getting close. He had talked about wars and rumors of wars. But now he talks about the time of Noah, where Noah was building the ark with his sons and preaching to the people that a flood was coming. They did not believe. They rejected his word, his preaching. And eventually the door of the ark was shut, and those people who rejected God drowned in the flood. Then it talks about an event where two men will be in a field, and one will be taken and one will be left. There will be two women grinding wheat. They're in the mill, they're grinding wheat, and one will be taken and one will be left. And then he just talks about being ready for that event and also being ready for the return of Christ. Many people will not be ready, and he will come at a time either to rapture the church or to come to earth when people are not ready. And really the last warning is even people who profess to be servants of God, instead of being ready and working, doing the work of the kingdom, they will figure he's never coming, or at least not in their time, and so they're getting drunk and carrying on, and they're abusing the possessions of their master, not using the gifts and talents they've been given, as we'll see in Matthew 25, and they will be left behind. They will miss his appearing and not be ready. So that's how Matthew 24 concludes, and I would encourage you to read that. Next week, Lord willing, I'll be away, but I may try to start Matthew 25. If not, we'll do that in a couple weeks. But I would encourage you to read through Matthew 24 again, and you'll see the various nuances in the chapter referring to the temple's destruction, the coming of Jesus a second time, and of course the end of time, or the final judgment that will come. God bless you, and we'll see you hopefully at many of our events this weekend. Again, Monday, Thursday, tonight at 7 o'clock. Good Friday service, 7 o'clock tomorrow. Sunrise service, 6 a.m. And there will be refreshments, by the way. The deacons are doing that. And then, of course, our blended service at 11 o'clock. Hope to see you. God bless you. Have a great day.